Hey guys, we have always told our kids that if they ever change their minds about being on social media, all they have to do is tell us. We will ask no questions and they owe absolutely no one an explanation.
For anyone curious about who this family are, this is Family of Nomads, this is Jess, and she has 3 kids and she uses them for content online. They were RV family. They were an RV family. They were living in basically like a Rolls Royce of RVs. I don't mean literally, but it was a pretty nice RV. And they used to travel about, and they coined this whole Family of Nomad thing, where it came to fruition. I think it was last year. People were getting pretty angry about the fact that most of the kids, one in particular, literally had like no room, no space to stand up.
Yeah. So this actually was originally 2 different lofts that we knocked down the wall that was right here. Birthday, the only thing they wanted was to go to a hotel.
People started noticing that one of her kids in particular was really going through a lot. Jess addressed this in several forms, and people were just genuinely quite concerned for this person. They were genuinely quite concerned. Now, one of the reasons why I've always had a bit of an issue is because they use their kids' medical problems as content. Not only that, but they've also monetized it and done brand sponsorships in regards to the various different, illnesses that their kids may have. For example, Jess decided to tell everyone that one of their kids was dealing with a eating disorder. That in itself is a huge invasion of privacy. There were other things that were coming into it, but that is something that she was telling people. It then also transpired that she did this, she did an advertisement with Dove, who was doing this eating disorder campaign, and decided to feature pictures of that specific child in this campaign. I don't know who that is helping, but I just go red flag there. I don't know why you are A, telling everyone that this is a thing, and B, monetizing off of it and using it as an ad. Anyway.
In our content during this time. We know that many of you have questions. We would like to ask for privacy on this matter.
And then there was a number 2, whenever their kids would have asthma problems, she'd be quick there with her camera to film what was going on. She also did a commercial for this pharmaceutical company, despite none of her kids or her actually using this particular treatment, which I don't think any influencer, unless you're specialized in this area, should be promoting pharmaceuticals, especially if you've never actually used it or you don't use it for your specific ailment.
Children 6 years and older with uncontrolled moderate to severe eosinophilic or oral steroid dependent asthma to help improve lung function and help prevent severe asthma attacks. Isn't taking Dupixent, but you can talk to your doctor to learn more if it's right for you.
But hey, that's just me. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, maybe I'm stuck in my ways. But a lot of negative feedback towards this family for those particular reasons. And what they've now decided to do is they decided to sell up on their RV way of living, and they're now living in this house, which is massive. They have this really, really, really nice house, and they've basically switched their extremely kind of frugal living to just the complete opposite. It's like Jess has gone to consumer heaven, and every other post is a sponsorship. Literally, they will be sponsoring everything. Everything is a paid for promotion. She's just out here. She is out here spending the money. And don't get me wrong, do not get me wrong. If you have got the money and you want to do that, then that's fine. I'm purely just talking about the noticeable shift in content. Not only have they gone from frugal to literally spending like the most insane amounts of money. I'm talking like Alicia Doherty standards of spending it like silly. Not only that, but she's also decided to put her kids in public school because that is apparently something that the children wanted.
After 3 years being homeschooled, my kids have successfully completed their first full week of public school. We lived in an RV for the past 3 years and traveled. We did not have to be on any particular schedule.
And there's obviously going to be a shift in content. They aren't living on top of each other in an RV anymore, living in a house, and we've got to be able to decorate the house, and it's Christmas stuff, we're buying things. But she's quite literally gone from kind of making the most out of the space you have, doing this and that, buying very little. And she was always talking about ways to, you know, kind of save money or ways to, I don't know, be able to conserve certain things. Well, now she's gone the complete opposite. And she is out here, you know, on the kids spending, I think it was like $1,000 on things for the kids to take back to school with. And there's quite literally only 3. Part of me does think that I think a lot of it has got to do with like business expenses, because there is just no way that you can walk into a shop, into a store, and justifiably spend $1,000 plus on back to school items unless you have like how many, like 30 children. I cannot even comprehend it. And people don't buy it either. It's such a drastic way for her to suddenly spin it.
3 years of homeschooling my kids. I'm about to go inside and buy them some school supplies. Monday they start public school. Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
I mean, who is this reminding you of? If this does not remind you of Alicia Doherty, then like the tax write-off queen, if this does not remind you of her, then I don't know what to tell you. Jess was out here buying aspirin and like, I don't know what she was buying. Anyway, my point is that there is a noticeable shift in the content. I will say it. The more cynical side of me will say it. And I've been reading quite a few comments, and I will say it. I do just think it is a little bit strange how all of a sudden they were all homeschooled or RV. You know, she had the kids to film them all the time. They were constantly on camera. She was showing what they were doing. Quite invasive. Once again, there's nothing the matter with homeschooling, so please don't think there is. I'm talking about the fact that they were literally living on top of each other in an RV, being filmed all the time by their mum. And then the mum is filming them, and then they're also homeschooled. But whilst they're being homeschooled, they're also being used as like product placement for certain homeschooling like activities and things. So it just felt like, from an outsider's perspective, it felt like they were always being recorded. There is a noticeable shift in content, and she's now deciding, well, I can't really film the kids and film what the kids are doing, so I'm going to get straight into, you know, shopping content. Which, is there anything the matter with that? No. But it is a stark contrast from the frugal living that they were doing before, if you see what I mean. If she was coming out the gate, Alicia Doherty-wise, coming out the gate, and she drives me nuts with it as well, heavy consumer, always been one, I'd be a bit like, oh, the content, because we had this content all the time. But it's a sudden drastic shift in content makes me think, was this all a front this whole time? Has she always been like this? Did she actually mean it when she was doing those sponsorships with how to conserve this and, you know, tips for how to do that? Do you see what I mean? It's just a bit disingenuous.
New house. We wanted to do something super magical, so of course we did the Wonka Magic Hat Gummy. New Wonka movie. Wonka Magic Hat Gummies were the perfect magical snack for this magical movie night. Buy a pack and enter the Dream It and Do It sweepstakes at wonkasweepstakes.com.
You know, and people nowadays are pretty quick to point out, so you got a bit of money now. Do you know what I mean? Because I think with them being in the RV, it was always like they could kind of hide it more, even though their RV was like amazing. It was like top of the range amazing. And anyone who could notices the amount of, you know, partnerships that they get would know and would notice the fact that they're probably raking in a lot of money, but now it's harder to hide because, you know, they've got a big nice house, etc. It's done that shift, and there's nothing the matter with channels doing that shift, But when it's this noticeable in such a short space of time, it does just kind of make you wonder whether or not they were being genuine from the very beginning. Ultimately, I do think that it is a really good thing that they did stop their RVing. And I only say that because there was a lot of speculation that the reasoning as to why they ended up having to move back was because one of their kids was not coping very well. One of their kids wasn't very happy. And of course, she wanted to, keep her out of the content, but it was just quite evident to see. And the little bits of information that Jess was giving was leading people into believing that. I do also think that, every channel does have to have a certain shift into what they once were and what they're trying to do. But I can't help but think that there are definitely some channels who are very much kind of fake it till you make it. And I think these guys kind of fall underneath that category because, they did the whole RV thing. That didn't quite work out. So now they're going and they're putting all their eggs into something else, all their eggs into another basket. And I can imagine her probably just branching out into like a stereotypical, what we bought and all of that kind of stuff. Is there anything the matter with it? No. But that is a very large chunk of their original audience that's going to be left out. The good thing that I will say about what's going on is that their kids do feature considerably less now that they are going to school, and I feel like that is a really big improvement on the channel. I do definitely think that there are some ads where I just kind of think like, why did you do that? Such as Jess kind of filming one of her kids getting upset about doing some homework, and then that was then a paid for promotion. And, there's a few undisclosed ads that they will run on the channel and people are very quick to point it out. But, considering this time last year or whatever, it was a completely different setup for this channel. I do think that ultimately them being in the house is going to serve them a lot better. But that is just from observation. Anyway, guys, I am going to love you and leave you. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in another video.